Breaking news in the last 90 minutes, Washington Governor Jay Inslee made three major coronavirus-related announcements. Number one, Washington educators K through 12 will be required as a condition of employment to be fully vaccinated come October 18th.
Number two, those working in higher education, childcare, and early learning will all be required to be fully vaccinated also by October 18th. And number three, effective Monday, August 23rd, there will be a statewide indoor mask mandate.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the special hour-long edition of KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. So these updates and new requirements all coming as the Delta variant of the coronavirus is sweeping the nation and COVID numbers and hospitalizations are on the rise. That's why the governor said today we need to use the tools we know are effective against the virus.
So when you decide to get a vaccine, you're protecting a kid out there who can't get it.
So our Ian Smade joining us live in the studio tonight to break down the impact of Governor Jay Inslee's announcement today. Ian?
Yeah, Mark, Whitney, the two big takeaways from Governor Jay Inslee's announcement today are the return of indoor mask mandates starting next Monday and a vaccine mandate for almost all K through 12 and higher education employees. And now let's start with that mask mandate. That is going back into effect on Monday, and that will apply to everyone regardless of their vaccination status. This mask mandate applies to almost all spaces, but there are a few exceptions. Those include offices without normal public access, places where people work alone and don't interact with the public, and small private gatherings among fully vaccinated people. The Department of Health is also recommending masks for people in crowded outdoor areas. This mandate comes as the state is seeing a huge spike in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations.
This week, our state broke its previous record for COVID hospitalizations set in December. The rate is, as I said, spectacularly almost vertical in our charts. We're witnessing exponential growth. I've not used that term in some months, but regrettably, that is now the situation that we are in.
The Spokane Regional Health District had also said that we saw a record number of COVID hospitalizations at one point this week. Now let's move on to the vaccine mandate for educational employees. That will apply to basically everyone who works in a K through 12 or higher education job. It won't apply to students, with some younger students still not eligible for any of the vaccines. Those employees must be fully vaccinated, so 2 weeks past their final shot by October 18th. Inslee was adamant that those who fail to get vaccinated will lose their job.
There will be a process that will involve days, not months, where if people do not come in compliance, that they will be discharged. And that will apply to all the personnel that are associated with this protocol, be they state employees or in the K through 12 or college system. And there will be a formal process of their discharge.
Now, there are still some medical and religious exemptions, and we should note that this also applies to people like substitute teachers, coaches, volunteers, and more. Inslee also said unions can negotiate to get their employees time off to get the vaccine and deal with the side effects. However, there will not be an option to do testing in place of getting the vaccine. Now, one thing to note is that in order for educational workers to be fully vaccinated by that deadline, they'll need to get that last shot no later than October 4th. Inslee was adamant that these steps are being taken in order to not have to shut down schools or the economy again like we saw last year. Whitney, Mark?